Hello everyone, I am Shweta and welcome to my channel Analytics by Shweta. In today's video, we will be learning 4 time intelligence functions, which is the previous year, the previous month, the previous quarter, and the previous day. Let us start with the previous year. Let us have a look at our data model. We have a simple data model having 4-dimension tables connected to a fact table, the highest data in a one-to-many relationship. The calendar table has a date column and the highest data has a DOJ, that is, date of joining or the hire date of the employee. These date columns are very important as they are essential for our time intelligence function. Now, as we want to look at hires in our example, we already have a pre-created measure for total hires. Let's have a look at it. We are using the count function and we are counting the employee code column in the hires data table. Now, as each and every employee has a unique employee code, this function will give us a distinct count of the employees. Let us create a matrix visual in our report. On the rows, let us add the year, and on the values, let us add total hires. We would be creating a new measure. Let's call it prev year. Use the calculate the total hires. We would be using the previous year. And here we need to give the calendar column and the date. So we approve this. Let us add this measure into our report. If you see here, it is giving us the highest for the previous year. So this exactly works like how we had seen in parallel period, same period last year, or the DATEADD function, where we are getting the results for the previous year. Let us duplicate this visual and add the month. Let us expand this visual. If you look at the data right now, in January 2021, it is returning as 5175. As 5175 was the total highest for the previous year, it is repeating the same value across. Similarly, in 2022, it is returning 1986 across, as 1986 was the highest for the previous period. Let us also add day to this visual and see what it returns. If you see 2021 Jan, it is returning 5175 for all the days, as the previous year had a total of 5175 hires. It is returning the same value across. So it is retaining what it is shown in the parameter. As we had used previous year, it is always showing us here, irrespective of what is there in the visual. Currently, we have days and month in the visual, but it is still returning us the value for the year. Let us have a look now at how previous month works. Let us create a new measure. We would be naming it as prev month. We would use calculate. We would use total hires. We would use the previous month and the calendar date. Let us create a new matrix visual and add the year and the month. In values, we would be adding the total hires and the measure which we have just created. Let us expand this. Now, if you look at the visual, we get 242 in February, as the previous month hire was 242. Similarly, here we get 284 as the previous month hire was 284. So it is returning us exactly what we have specified, that give us the previous month's data. Let us duplicate this visual and remove the month from the visual and just look at it from a year's perspective. Here in 2021, you are getting 279. What is this 279? If you look at 2020 data, December's hires was 279. So look here, December had a total of 279. And that is why in 2021, it is returning as 279 as the previous month was 279. Let us go here and add dates to it. Let us have a look at it. If you see here, January had 242 hires, and when you expand February, you see 242 across, as the previous month was 242. For each and every day, it is repeating 242. It is retaining what we have specified in the measure. So this is how we use previous month to calculate previous month's data. We will be further looking at examples on how to use the previous quarter. Let us create a measure for the same. We would be using previous quarter. Once again, we use calculate total hires and we use the previous quarter and the calendar date. Let us approve this measure. We would go and add a matrix visual onto our report. Let us add year on the rows, total hires, and previous quarter hires here. Let us duplicate this visual, and in this visual, let us also add the quarter. Let us expand this. If you see here, we have all the years and data for the respective quarters. If you look here, quarter 4 of 2020 had 1758 hires. So in 2021, the same value is repeated here as the previous quarter's value was 1758. So this 1758 is reflected here. Quarter 4 2020 had 1758 hires. Similarly, if you look at 2022, you get 394 as the previous quarter hires. And if you look at this quarter over here, you would see 394. So previous quarter works in this fashion where it looks at the previous quarter. In this visual, if you further add the months and you expand it, you would see previous quarter returns the same value. So October, November and December return 1780 as the previous quarter's value was 1780. This will work similarly if you further add days to the mix. It will always return the previous quarter details. We would be further looking at the previous day function in DAX and how it works. Let's create a new measure. Let's name it as prev day. Use the calculate the total hires, and we would be using the previous day function here. And once again, we would be using the calendar date. Let us approve this. Let us create a table visual. A matrix visual. And on the rows, once again, we would be adding the year. And on the values, we would be adding total hires. Then we would be adding the month name on the rows. Let us also add the previous day hires over here. And in the rows, once again, let us add the day. So in this matrix visual, in the rows, we have added year, month, and day. And in the values, we have added the total hires and the previous day measure which we have created. Let us just expand it and also expand the days. If you look here, January 1st had 26 hires. And January 2, if you look at the previous day, it is returning as 26. So it is returning as the previous day value. If you look at all these values, it is returning as the previous day value, which is present here. Now, just duplicate this visual and remove the month and the day from the visual and look at the data point. If you see in previous day, we do not have any values. Why is this? This is because we do not have any hires on 31st of December for any of these years, and that is the reason when it looks at previous day, it does not have a value. If you had any hires on 31st of December 2020, suppose you had one hire on 2020 on the 31st of December. So for 2021 over here, you would get the value 1. But currently in our data set, we do not have any such hires on the 31st of December. And that is the reason we are seeing blanks over here. So this is how the previous day function works. I hope you understood all these functions of previous year, previous month, previous quarter, and previous day. This will help you a lot in your calculations. You can also refer other videos like same period last year, parallel period, and DATEADD, which are the other time intelligence functions. They are given in the cards above and the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more updates. Thank you and have a nice day.